This is the BLUETTI Pioneer MD AC180T portable power station. My first take is that it feels like a tool built for real work, not a shiny gadget. The shell is tough, the handles are solid, and the whole thing gives off, bring me to the campsite with a job site energy. Key features that stood out to me right away are the hot swappable batteries, the 1800 watts, pure sine wave inverter with 3600 watts surge, and the crazy fast wall charging that jumps to about 80% in roughly 45 minutes. Pure sine wave just means the AC power here is as clean as a home outlet, so sensitive gear like a CPAP or laptop won't buzz or overheat. From my experience, the big story is the battery system. Instead of one sealed pack, the AC180T takes two removable B70 batteries, each around 716 watt-hours. Together you get about 1,432 watt-hours. I can pull a battery, drop in a fresh one, and keep things running. If you've ever had a power station die mid-cook or mid-edit, you know why that matters. There's one catch. When only one battery is seated, the output drops to 1,200 watts. In my opinion, that's fine as long as I remember to keep the load under that limit during a swap. Forget that, and the overload protection will trip. Lesson learned while boiling water with a kettle. I had to pause, swap, and relaunch the heat. Charging options are strong. On AC, turbo mode pulls up to about 1,440 watts, which is why it jumps from empty to 80% so quickly. It's loud when it does that. The fans spool up like a small hairdryer, but the time savings are worth it when I'm on a quick stop. Solar input is rated up to 500 watts with an MPPT controller inside. MPPT just means it constantly tunes the panels to grab the best possible power as light conditions change. With a 200-watt panel in decent sun, I was seeing about 150 to 160 watts in, which is realistic. Car charging is more of a maintenance trickle at around 100 watts. It'll work while driving, but I don't plan my day around it. The battery chemistry is LiFePO4, which is one of the reasons I picked this model. In simple terms, it's safer and lasts longer than older lithium types. BLUETTI rates it for over 3,500 cycles to 80% capacity. That's years of daily use before it noticeably shrinks. And because the batteries are removable, I can replace them later without tossing the whole unit. It's perfect for anyone who hates planned obsolescence. I rely on the AC180T for three main scenarios. For home backup, I bought it for my sump pump. I assumed it would act like a UPS, and technically it can, but I got burned once. Eco mode, which is meant to save power by shutting down the inverter after hours of low or no load, was on by default. My sump pump didn't run for a while. The unit shut off. Then a storm hit and the pump never kicked back on. Basement flood. That's on me for not checking the settings. But it's also a heads up. If you're running anything critical that cycles on and off, disable eco mode or adjust the settings in the app. Since then, it's been flawless. For camping, I used it to power a CPAP overnight and make coffee in the morning. That combo is where this thing shines. The pure sine wave output kept the CPAP quiet and stable, and the 1,800-watt inverter had no problem with a coffee maker. During the day, I recharged with portable panels and topped off with AC when I could. The swappable batteries meant I could carry the pack and chassis separately. Fully loaded, this setup is about 58 pounds, which is manageable in pieces. I wouldn't want to carry it far all at once, but separating the batteries turns an awkward lift into a couple of easy ones. For van life and fieldwork, the flexibility is even more obvious. I paired one B70 with BLUETTI's multi-cooler and left the AC180T charging on solar. One battery lives in the cooler, the other charges in the power station, and I swapped them once a day. That rhythm gave me near-continuous refrigeration without hard-wiring a whole build. Powerlifting mode also helped me run resistive loads like a small space heater or a hairdryer up to 2,700 watts temporarily. It's not magic. This isn't meant to replace a wall outlet for big heaters, but it prevents the breaker from tripping the moment those loads spike. The downside is noise. The fan profile is aggressive. Even at lower loads, the fans will sometimes ramp, settle, then ramp again. In a small space, that whoosh is noticeable. Silent charging mode tames it, but it also slows the AC charging rate to something closer to around 400 watts. I use silent at night or in shared spaces, and switch back to standard or turbo when I'm in a hurry. Another quirk is the screen. It's fine indoors, and the interface is straightforward, but in bright sun, the glare makes it hard to read. I end up shading it with my hand to check watts in and out. I've also noticed a bit of standby draw if I leave the inverter on with no load. For low draw scenarios, I either use DC ports or set the timers carefully in the app. The app is simple and useful. I can toggle AC/DC outputs, switch eco mode, and adjust charge speed. If you're new to this stuff, it's where you'll find settings that can make or break a weekend. From my experience, do a quick firmware update right away. The unit and batteries both, so charging logic and wake behavior with solar are up to date. One early quirk I saw with solar was that it didn't always wake automatically at sunrise unless I reseated the cable. A later update improved that. Build quality feels confident. The body is rigid, the battery latch has a satisfying clunk, and the bay rails guide the packs in smoothly. The footprint is boxy, and because the batteries load from the top, stacking gear on it isn't practical. I also wish it had a built-in light for emergencies. Those are small trade-offs for what you get. Hot swappable power, fast replenishment, and the safety of Life EPO4. The 5-year warranty helps me trust that I'm not buying a disposable brick. It's perfect for campers, overlanders, van folks, and anyone who needs reliable AC power off-grid without building a full electrical system. I'd recommend this for people who want continuous runtime by swapping batteries, who value fast AC charging between stops, and who plan to run sensitive gear like CPAPs, cameras, or laptops. If you want a silent bedroom UPS, you can make it work, but plan on tweaking fan and eco settings and be aware of the fan sound. If you need to lift it often over long distances, the modular batteries help, but a small cart still makes life easier. In conclusion, the BLUETTI Pioneer MD AC180T feels like a portable power station designed by people who actually use these things outside. The hot swap system solves the usual "when it's empty, you're done" limitation. The inverter is strong and stable, the charging speed saves time, and the ecosystem with the B70 batteries adds real flexibility. It's not the quietest, and the screen can be hard to read in daylight, but the utility outweighs the quirks for how I work and travel. If you want portable power that can keep up with you and keep running as long as you have charged batteries, this is the one to beat. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe and drop your questions or your own experience with the AC180T in the comments. Thank you for watching.